It's so easy to feel like when you are not constantly doing things, when you're single for a period of time, when you're in a very chill place with your career, when you're not buying something, you don't have a trip coming up, it's so easy to feel like life is just boring. Like it's almost like we're so programmed to be constantly externally chasing something that when we don't have this external excitement happening in our lives and we don't have something new happening, it can be just so easy to feel like we are bored. This is why so many of us go back to toxic relationships that aren't really serving us. This is why sometimes we spend money on things that we don't actually need. It's because we don't feel fulfilled. We don't feel comfortable sitting with ourselves. It's actually really, really scary sitting with yourself, right? If you're used to dating all the time and you're at a period where you're single, it feels uncomfortable. It feels scary. If you're someone who's always thought that you had to keep up with appearances and buy things, and there, especially like in this social media world, there's always something to be buying. There's, a trip we always want to plan. And when we don't have these things to look forward to, it feels like life is boring, or it feels like we're not doing enough. We're programmed to be kind of on autopilot, and we're also programmed to be consumers constantly. And I think that can lead us into these toxic situations where, again, we're in a relationship that's not serving us. We're hanging out with people, going out just to be doing things. I think it causes us to exert a lot of external energy because we don't know how to sit with ourselves. We don't know how to find that sense of excitement and joy from life from within, because we're not really taught how to do that when you think about it. But I'm a really big believer in the fact that if you want to be the main character of your own life, if you want to live a life that actually makes you genuinely excited to wake up every single day, then you have to kind of train yourself and learn how to find joy from within. I think when you can really learn to do this, you not only fall more in love with yourself, but you attract more things out of life that you wouldn't normally be able to attract if you're constantly chasing, if you're constantly on the move. These periods of stillness, being at peace, being bored can actually really, really, really help you elevate and help you shift into a new reality that you normally wouldn't even be able to comprehend, right? If you're just constantly focusing on your current life and chasing the things within it. So in this video, I really want to share with you guys some mindset shifts, but also some tangible things that I've started doing in my life that have really, really, really helped me learn how to sit with myself, how to romanticize my life, and how to find joy from life every single day, even when, again, I'm not dating someone, or even when I don't have a trip coming up or whatever. Like, these things have really, really, really helped me find joy in my everyday life. And I can tell you, being able to do this has really, really, really helped me manifest things actually in my external world that I wouldn't have been able to manifest if I was stuck in my old ways. I really hope what I'm saying makes some sense. I think you guys will kind of get it as I get deeper into the video. So I think the first thing that is really important, and it can be so helpful if you are just trying to learn how to find joy in everyday life, romanticize your life, is to find some kind of physical movement that excites you and that actually helps you feel grounded day to day. If you're able-bodied and healthy, like, it's so easy to sometimes take that for granted, and it's so easy to be disconnected from our own bodies in this world that is very guided by our mental space. However often you need, when you're taking that time to connect with your body, whether it be through yoga, walking, running, weightlifting, whatever it may be for you, it really, really, really allows you to be more present in other areas of your life. And in a way, physical movement can be used as a form of meditation because you're being present with your body, you're being present with your breath. And I think that it just makes life, I don't know, I notice a huge difference in the way that I feel about life, in my mental health, and just I've noticed a huge difference in every area of my life when I am consistently pouring myself into some kind of physical movement. And I think that, sometimes it can feel like a chore because we want to be healthy. We know that this is a pillar of discipline is having some kind of physical movement. I don't know, it can just feel like a chore to implement this into our everyday lives. But I'm telling you, when you can learn to kind of like make it into a game, try new things. Maybe you're not into weightlifting. Maybe you want to try a boxing class. I don't know, maybe you want to try a Pilates class. Like, there's so many things out there. Just experiment and try new things until you find that thing that actually makes you excited, because for me at least, even when I have nothing else going on in my day, if I have not been productive in any areas of my life, if I have gone to the gym, I can tell you I feel like like the day still feels like an amazing day to me. Next thing that I really, really encourage you to do, if you don't already have something that you are pouring yourself into when it comes to learning a new skill, a new hobby, whatever it may be, learning as an adult is so important. As a kid, when we're in school, I think school, the public education system, especially in America, can really do a number on us and make us feel like learning is just like this chore. Like, no, like, I don't know. I feel like when you're in school, you're taught, like, you're kind of being thrown information, you're being told what you're supposed to be learning. And so a lot of us have this really weird relationship with learning. But since I've become an adult, I've definitely realized that like when you find something that excites you, whether it be a new language or maybe you're just reading a book and learning about a specific topic, especially like a new skill, oh my gosh, the enjoyment that you can get from it is insane. Like it can just remind you that like there's like a childlike joy that we can all have and we can all access in this life. And you have to, again, be intentional about accessing it and finding it. Again, it's a practice. And I think learning is a major, major, major way that you can kind of just implement this into your everyday life. For me as a creator, I am more in love with creating content. I enjoy creating content more when I'm dedicating myself, when I'm pushing myself to learn new skills in this field. Like for example, for me, I learned how to edit using Final Cut Pro, which is like kind of a bit more of like a complicated editing software than iMovie. I learned how to edit on Final Cut Pro using Skillshare. I do want to thank them for sponsoring today's video. I remember watching Ali Abdal's videos and that really, really, really helped me just like learn the basics of Final Cut Pro. But even now, Skillshare has like these like learning paths so you can like learn different topics with different teachers, which I think is so, so cool. I'm like going down this learning path of learning just more like just different things on Final Cut Pro. They have classes on like color correcting, color grading or whatever it is. There's one teacher who teaches you about like actually planning and scripting out a video and storytelling, different ways that you can like level up as a creator and as someone who's editing on Final Cut Pro. And so stuff like that just really, really, really excites me and it makes me want to just be better at what I do. And so if you guys have never checked out Skillshare, I definitely recommend you guys do. They're just such an amazing platform for learning new skills, literally in any arena. Like it doesn't have to just be content. You can learn about maximizing your productivity with Notion. You can learn like different kind of crafty skills. So like cooking and arts and crafts and just different, like if you're creative in any way, which I think most people are, I definitely recommend you get on Skillshare and just take the time to go through a learning path and just learn a new skill. The satisfaction that you get from it is just unbeatable and it's just fun. I really enjoy using Skillshare's platform because they just make it so easy to find new classes that you can take. They make it so easy to go through the classes and it's very interactive and they usually give you projects and activities that you can do. I love Skillshare. I just will always recommend them to like literally anybody. So if you guys want to check them out, I will be sure to leave a link to them down below. First 500 people to use my link in the description box will get a 1 month free trial on Skillshare. So I definitely recommend you guys click that. Take advantage, get started today, find just a new skill that you want to pour yourself into. That kind of brings me into my next tip, which is just pouring yourself into some kind of creative expression. Even if you work a job that is more technical, more logical, more left-brained, I really think that every single person on this planet can benefit from having some sort of creative expression. And when you think about it, that can come in so many different ways, like decorating your house, even cooking meals. Like that is a form of creative expression. I'm reading The Creative Act right now by Rick Rubin. That book has really, really taught me that like, again, every single thing that you're doing in this life is it's creative, right? Like literally as children, we have this like joy and excitement for life. And I think a lot of it comes from our minds being open to creating new things, but also receiving things from the universe. We see the world in such a different way when we're children because everything is new, everything is exciting. And I think when you can really like learn to receive that, when you can really learn to be present and like look out the window and like see the world from this like fresh lens, it really gives you this childlike joy and excitement for the world. And I think that that's a huge part of creativity, is listening, receiving, observing the world around you, but then in your own way expressing what's going on in your internal world. So maybe that's through content, maybe that's through art, maybe that's through whatever. Even just writing in your journal, that is a form of creative expression. And so I really, really encourage you, if you don't already have something that you enjoy kind of pouring yourself into, just be thinking about ways. And again, you're probably already doing it without realizing it, but when you can really take the time to kind of hone in on that creativity and learn like, okay, how can I get better at this? How can I not even just get better just for the sake of making more money, but how can I, just fall more in love with expressing myself? How can I get more comfortable expressing myself without fear and without worrying so much about what people are thinking about me? Like, just that practice in itself has helped me fall in love with life so much. And I think especially like, again, being a single person, it's really allowed me to pour myself into something that I feel like I'm actually getting like nourishment from. Like I feel like I'm getting fed and I'm getting like a lot of the love that I think that we seek in this world. Again, we can find it from within. And I think learning to connect with yourself and really just like, I don't know, understand like where do you find beauty in the world and how can you express that? I don't know. I think it's like a form of love that you can, I don't know. It's like, it's insane. It's just crazy. It's a really beautiful thing. I don't know. I feel like the more I fall in love with myself, also the more brave I feel to express myself as well. And so, yeah, if you find yourself ever bored or I don't know, lonely or whatever, maybe you should just be pouring yourself into some kind of creative passion. And the next thing that I really recommend is taking time every day, if you can, for some sort of stillness. So again, meditation is amazing, but this can also just be in the place of like when you're walking, this can be when you're taking a shower, this can be when you're just eating food, learning to strip the external stimulation and really, really, really learn how to sit with yourself. Maybe you are in the living room and you don't have the TV on, right? If you're used to always having the TV on, you're used to always being on your phone, just in little ways in your day-to-day life, how can you be more still? How can you take that time to, again, listen to the world, open yourself up to receiving things from your external environment? Because when you think about it, like the world is so exciting and so beautiful and amazing, but again, we lose that sense of wonder as we get older sometimes. And I think it takes practice, it takes like you being conscious to be still more often and learning to be okay with that stillness. I really like to just like sit in my living room sometimes, like just listen to jazz. Maybe I'll drink my wine, and maybe that's technically not even just being completely still, but like, just like finding little things that you enjoy doing. Maybe you just sit out on your porch or your balcony or whatever and just stare. I mean, again, these things are very, very obvious, but just learning to put this in your everyday life more and more. And when you find in these moments where you're maybe anxious or you're maybe wanting to reach to someone or something, or again, some kind of external simulation, spending money, you feel bored, when your natural instinct is to reach for something external, I really, really encourage you to make it more into your practice to learn to sit with yourself, learn to take a breath, learn to watch your thoughts, learn to observe how you're feeling, and maybe take a step back from it and put yourself back in that witnessing state instead of just being the person, instead of being driven so much by ego and being driven so much by the external world and being on autopilot, if that makes sense. And also, like, with that, I know I've kind of emphasized a lot in this video the importance of being alone and being comfortable being alone, but also recognizing the importance of having a community is something that I've really, really, really been having to learn, especially over this past year, because I've been spending so much time by myself, and it's amazing to do that. But sometimes it can get a little bit too comfortable. So I think it's also really important to recognize that, like, we are social creatures for a reason. And I think that while it's really healthy and amazing to find, that connection with yourself, we can't deny the fact that, we all crave connection. We all crave connection through community. We all crave even romantic connections as well. And so I think when you can learn to balance out, like, hey, what are the things that fulfill you? What are the things that bring you joy independently? But also, how can you connect with others? But how can you fill your own cup first? Right? So you're not just trying to pour from an empty cup, or you don't want to be someone who is gaining your energy only from other people, because that's how you become codependent. So finding that balance, learning how to find that emotional independence with yourself, learning to find those things in your day-to-day life that make you happy, bring you joy, help you romanticize the world around you, but also using that to help you connect with others, right? That is how you, I think, find that perfect harmony of just building out a community that actually fulfills you, rather than, again, just being around people just for the sake of being around people, or being in a relationship just for the sake of being in a relationship. You want to establish that connection with yourself first, that joy, that happiness. Make sure that you can make yourself happy. Make sure that you love yourself actually, truly, before you go and seek someone else to love you. Right? That's, I think, how you can build these really, really healthy relationships. And again, it's a constant practice as we're going on throughout life, as we're getting older, as we're changing, as, you know, at the end of the day, we are of this world, we are of this 3D earth. So we're all in some ways driven by the external things around us, right? Our jobs. You know, we all do enjoy buying some material things to some extent. It looks different for everybody. Like, I really do like traveling, but at the end of the day, if I'm only getting joy and happiness when I am traveling, when I'm on a trip, that's not the healthiest thing. And eventually you're going to get tired of traveling, then you're going to be on to the next thing, right? If I'm only getting joy from going on dates and being in romantic relationships, that's not healthy either, because then you become codependent. And so I think everything in life is about finding that balance, but it all does really truly start from within. And I think having those foundational things, again, that bring you joy every day, whether it be physical movement, creative expression, stillness, whatever, those things can really, really, really help you with your external world. I think from there, you can then find things to look forward to, whether it be short term or long term. Maybe you have events coming up with friends, or things that you plan to be doing with friends, but then also things that you're looking forward to in your own life, whether it be the skills that you're learning. Maybe in a month you want to be able to, you know, edit a video fully by yourself, or maybe in a month you want to fully be able to learn how to cook this new cuisine, or so, you know, maybe you want to learn a new language by this time. Again, being present is really, really important, but also having things that you look forward to in the future, again, both by yourself and with others, I think is the key to adulting and the key to making life enjoyable. Again, I know these things sound very, very simple, but for me, as someone who just turned 26, I'm still kind of trying to figure that out. Like, I'm still kind of learning, like, okay, this is how you, I don't know, like at one point I was in college, and, you know, the things that I'd be looking forward to every single weekend was going out and drinking. And like, that's just not who I am anymore. And so you have to really take that time to discover these things. You have to take that time to, you know, understand, again, what's important to you. What are the areas of your life that you're not actually filling up your own cup enough? And it's never going to be perfect, right? We're never going to be these perfect people. But I think the more that you can work on, you know, these different things, the more life becomes just more fun. Even in your career, like, if you like your job, hopefully you do, like, what are the things in your career, you know, that you're looking forward to getting better at? What are things in your job that you want to get more skilled at? I know that, again, discipline, goals, all these things can sometimes feel like this like heavy weight of like, fuck, I have to do this, I don't want to, but like, if you can make it into a game, it just makes life more fun. And it's easier to become the main character of your own life when you see everything as a game. Again, you don't need to be spending a ton of money in order to be satisfied and happy. You don't need to be in a relationship in order to be happy and satisfied. You can find that joy, that excitement in your life day to day, and learning to enjoy that journey will really, really, really help you. It just makes life so much easier. So yeah, I hope what I'm saying made some sense, you guys. I hope you guys enjoy this video. I feel like a lot of what I said in this video is very simple, but I feel like these are just like these simple reminders that we sometimes just need. Let me know in the comments down below how you guys are doing. What in your life, what is like a simple thing in your day-to-day life that you find that you are starting to really enjoy doing? Is it cooking? Is it cleaning? Like, what's something that you recently have really found joy from that's a simple task in your day-to-day life? Just let me know, because I'm very, very curious. I hope you guys are doing well. I love you guys so much. Thank you guys so much for being here. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.